Good morning and welcome to Breakfast News. I'm Tina Jha. Let's begin with a look at the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches ambitious Swachh Bharat campaign. Lakhs take the pledge to clean India by 2019. Parties release election manifestos. Congress and NCP promise high growth in Maharashtra. BJP bets on good governance in Haryana. Indian women win the gold medal in Kabaddi. Country moves to the 7th position with 10 gold medals. And Hong Kong chief executive extends an olive branch to protesters, offers to talk to them but says he will not resign. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat or the Clean India mission yesterday. The mission aims to make India clean by 2nd October 2019 in time for Mahatma Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary. Administering the Clean India pledge, Modi said the goal was to eliminate open defecation in the country.
पूज्य बापू ने हमें संदेश दिया था, क्विट इंडिया, क्लीन इंडिया.
On the 145th birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan in the national capital.
और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कर कमलों द्वारा इस पदयात्रा का शुभारंभ हुआ.
The nation followed suit in the massive clean-up drive. 30 lakh central government staff took a pledge to join the nationwide mission to raise awareness about cleanliness and better sanitation.
मैं शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं स्वयं स्वच्छता के प्रति सजग रहूंगा और उसके लिए समय दूंगा.
हम मिलके करें पूरा बापू का सपना, ये सपना.
The Prime Minister nominated 9 Indians to start the Clean India campaign in public places. Among them are Sachin Tendulkar, Shashi Tharoor and actors Salman Khan, Kamal Hassan, Priyanka Chopra and the entire team of TV show Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma.
जिन 9 लोगों को मैंने आज निमंत्रित किया है, वे जरूर इस काम को करेंगे. इतना ही नहीं, उनसे भी मेरा आग्रह है कि वे भी और 9 लोगों का नाम तय करके उनको भी निमंत्रित करें. अरे 9 की चेन चलती ही रहे.
A World Bank study says shortage of toilets costs the country over $50 billion a year through premature deaths and hygiene-related diseases. The Clean India mission focuses on getting rid of open defecation and installing smart waste management systems aimed at freezing India of rubbish by 2019.
ये गरीबों के स्वास्थ्य के लिए बड़ा महत्वपूर्ण काम है और इसलिए ये भारत माता की सेवा गरीबों की भी सेवा है.
The armed forces also pledged to keep their environs clean as a part of the Clean India drive.
महात्मा गांधी ने जिस भारत का सपना देखा था और उसके लिए समय दूंगा.
Chiefs of Indian Navy, Air Force and Army asked all their officers to take out 2 hours every week from their schedule and help in cleaning their homes and societies.
पूरी फैमिलीज को जो नौसेना का परिवार है, उन्हें एकजुट होकर इसकी तरफ ध्यान देने को कहा है. जैसे हम अपनी सफेद वर्दी को स्वच्छ रखते हैं, वैसे ही हम अपने जहाजों, पनडुब्बियों और बेसेस को स्वच्छ रखेंगे और साथ ही साथ पूरे भारत को स्वच्छ बनाएंगे.
The pledge that you have taken today has been implemented by the Indian Air Force throughout its existence. We do it regularly. We do Shramdan regularly. Every air warrior takes part in Shramdan to keep our environment clean.
The ambitious plan is expected to cost the government 2 lakh crore rupees over 5 years. Modi also linked cleanliness to tourism and economy to say that world-class levels of hygiene and cleanliness are required to give the country a facelift.
आदत को बदलना होगा, हम सब
public sector undertakings are expected to build 50,000 toilets in schools all over the country by August 2015. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And to discuss more on that story, we have this morning Mr. Chandrabhan Prasad. Mr. Prasad is a writer and also mentor at the Dalit India Chamber of Commerce and Industry. A very good morning, Mr. Prasad, and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. Obviously, this is an ambitious project, and having a clean India is something that no responsible citizen would disagree with. But the larger question here is about the implementation. How do you think the government is going to ensure that this project and the enthusiasm among people doesn't fade away?
See, as an idea, Swachh Bharat parallels the slogan of Green Revolution. Because of Green Revolution, India became food self-sufficient, and now we are food surplus. But to clean India, which is a dream of every Indian, right, we need to consider several experiences world over. For instance, nowhere in the world citizens clean their cities. They do not litter their cities, their areas. It is the duty of government and governmental agencies along with private partners to clean their societies. Two, the cities I have seen the world over are cleaned by more machines and technology than by bare hands and this broom which we saw yesterday.
Exactly. That brings me to the question about manual scavenging. Obviously, we know despite the ban, it's been continuing in many parts of the country. How does the government look to control that, to put a complete ban on that?
Technology is the only answer. You know, if you help people build their own toilets, this practice of manual scavenging will go. Unless you bring technology into picture and private sector, for instance, you have so many toilets in India built by government. Tell me, does any government-built toilet match toilets built by Sulabh Shauchalaya?
Basically, there is no maintenance. Once you build that and you move ahead, you don't go back and follow up.
Quality of sanitation, can any middle-class Indian stand for even a second at the public toilets we have in Delhi and elsewhere in this country?
This project, Mr. Prasad, also talks about building toilets. In fact, the Prime Minister said his aim is to have ensure that every household in the rural areas has toilet by the end of 5 years. In the past also we've seen efforts have been made to build toilets. What is it that's different about this project that people are going to be very serious about it this time?
You know, I am fond of visiting villages. Wherever I go, including Europe and USA, I visit villages to learn. In India, I have seen so many people having their toilets, private toilets. It is so difficult to use these toilets because there is no water.
Right.
So people build toilets and still they go in open areas.
So basically it's for the record, you have that many number of toilets, but basically they're not functional.
Yeah. When you are not able to provide proper drinking water, I have seen women in Gujarat and Rajasthan carrying water for 5-6 kilometers. So unless you have supply of water, you cannot have a functional toilet.
Right.
So all these factors have to be taken into account to make this dream a reality.
Also, what do you think about the generation of waste? The Prime Minister has launched such a massive cleaning drive, perhaps one of the largest that the country has seen in the recent times. But don't you think that instead of, going about and cleaning it, we should first take steps to prevent the generation of waste rather than, go about cleaning it later on?
See, Indians are very interesting people. They want to keep their homes clean, neat and clean, and litter the public places. You know, so that's why I'm saying nowhere in the world it is the public which is involved in cleaning cities and areas.
So perhaps it's also about changing the mindset among the people that it's not just your home, it's basically the surroundings.
See, the mindset will change not with appeal or consciousness building. It will change with penalty. The Indians who drive like cattle in India, when they go to USA and Europe, they become rats. Because
exactly. So what you're saying is there should be stricter laws, stricter fines. For example, the Delhi Metro, where, you know, there are stricter laws and, of course, people don't litter.
Yeah.
But because on the roads, they know there is no such thing, there is no penalty. So perhaps the government has to ensure that strict norms are put in place apart from creating awareness.
Yes, exactly. Because unless you have tough laws, somebody taking his or her pet and making the pet dirty the walking areas. I have not seen any wild dog dirtying the main walking street.
Right.
It is the people who are educated, who have enough money, who have surplus money to keep dogs. They take their dogs in the park.
So basically, exactly. So like we were talking, that it's about changing the mindset. Apart from cleaning your household, you also need to keep clean your surroundings, and stricter laws need to be in place. So tough challenge ahead for the government. But Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for joining us this morning and giving us that perspective. And moving on to the other national news now, the death toll in the devastating floods in Assam has gone up to 44, with one more death reported on Thursday. The floods have affected nearly 4 lakh people and damaged property worth several crores in Assam. The worst affected districts are Goalpara, Kamrup, Dhemaji and Nagaon, where thousands of hectares of crops have been submerged in floodwaters. Authorities are operating multiple relief camps in the affected districts. Besides a large number of roads and bridges, there has been severe damage to government infrastructure like schools, health centres and offices in the 4 districts. The state government has asked the centre for special financial assistance for rehabilitation and rebuilding work. And 6 civilians, including 2 women, were injured and 6 houses partially damaged during shelling by Pakistani troops on border hamlets along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. According to an army officer, Pakistani troops resorted to intermittent firing by small arms and automatic weapons and shelling of mortar bombs in 2 forward subsectors of Sabjian and Mandi, drawing retaliation from the Indian troops. Police officials also said that civilian population living in border hamlets of Gigrial and Uripura along the LOC were targeted during the firing. The injured have been taken to hospitals in Poonch and Mandi, and most of them are now reported to be out of danger. And let's now get you some updates from the poll-bound states of Maharashtra and Haryana. Well, a day after Congress released its poll manifesto for Haryana, BJP came out with its own today. In fact, yesterday, the party has promised soaps for farmers and introduction of several welfare schemes in its manifesto. BJP will be contesting alone for the first time in the state on the 15th of October.
BJP has released its poll manifesto for the Haryana Assembly elections this month. The manifesto, released a day after Congress's own, was full of promises for farmers, youth and women. In quite similar lines with the Congress manifesto, BJP too had a lot on offer. It has promised interest-free loans to farmers, food grains at ₹1 per kilo for economically weaker sections, tax-free pilgrimage scheme for senior citizens, ₹2,000 monthly pension for senior citizens and widows, and setting up of a higher court for the state, and job promises for unemployed youth.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सुशासन की स्थापना एक अच्छा शासन, एक विकास और समृद्धि को समर्पित शासन, एक सुरक्षा को समर्पित शासन का एक ऐसा मौका है, एक स्वर्णिम मौका है, जिससे कि हरियाणा के लोगों ने मन बनाया हुआ है।
BJP will be looking to end the 10-year rule of Congress in Haryana. This is the first time that BJP has decided to go all alone in the assembly elections in the state. The party called off its alliance with Haryana Janhit Congress last month, making its job tougher. Apart from development and good governance, BJP is seeking votes against corruption in the state.
भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त हरियाणा लोकायुक्त की नियुक्ति सरकार बनने के 15 दिन के अंदर करेंगे।
The party will be depending a lot on the image of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to make an impact in these elections. At least 10 rallies of Modi have been lined up in the next 2 weeks. It remains to be seen how effective will be its ploy to seek mandate with Modi as its face in the assembly elections too. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And both former allies, Congress and NCP, released their poll manifestos for Maharashtra yesterday. The two parties promised to put the state on higher growth trajectory in the next 5 years. Both manifestos had a lot to offer to farmers and youth of the state.
A day after releasing its manifesto for Haryana, Congress came out with its version for Maharashtra on Thursday. Seeking a mandate on its own this time, the party focused on inclusive growth. The party also promised roads for every village in the state, new information technology hub between Pune and Nagpur, free tablets for class 9 pass students, free Wi-Fi in colleges, free education for girls.
आणि संयुक्त महाराष्ट्र झाला त्यावेळेसपासून यशवंतरावजीपासून तर पृथ्वीराज चव्हाण साहेबांच्यापर्यंत सातत्याने या राज्यामधला विकास पुढे नेण्याचं काम आणि या राज्याला सर्व घटकांना मजबूत करण्याचं काम काँग्रेस पक्षाच्या नेतृत्वाने सरकारने सातत्याने केलं. आज जाहीरनामा या ठिकाणी आम्ही समोर ठेवतो. तो जाहीरनामा याची एक कडी आहे.
NCP focused on attempting to woo farmers, youths and other sections of the society in its election manifesto for the upcoming assembly polls. The NCP has given special attention to education and employment. In its manifesto, NCP has promised pension to farm labourers, a child labour-free state in the next 5 years, 2,000 crore rupees for the development of minorities, a separate department for OBC in Mantralaya, hostels and special bus facility for women, free Wi-Fi and digital classrooms.
अन्य सुरक्षा योजनेच्या अंमलबजावणीसाठी दरमहा प्रत्येक कुटुंबास 35 किलो धान्य वाटप, 3 रुपये किलो दराने तांदूळ, 2 रुपये किलोने गहू, 1 रुपया किलोने भरड धान्य. यामधून 7 कोटी नागरिकांना या योजनेचा लाभ देण्याचा प्रयत्न.
After ruling the state together, NCP and Congress decided to end their 15-year-old alliance in the state recently. The alliance was called off after talks on seat sharing in the assembly polls failed to end the deadlock. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
We'll slip into a very short break here, but all the news and updates from the Asian Games coming up your way in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast News. Now let's get you all the action from the Asian Games. India added another goal to its tally today as the women's kabaddi team clinched a gold, beating Iran in the final. India beat Iran 30-21 in the final to make it 10 goals for India at the Asian Games. The Indian women had a good start and kept the pressure on the Iranians as they beat them 15-11 at the half stage. India had a total of 3 Iona points to their credit. This is the second consecutive gold for the women's kabaddi team at the Asian Games.
Takes over. They said there will be a serious introspection on the strength.
And let's now tell you about all the Indian action lined up at the Games today. India will look to add another goal to its tally on the penultimate day as the men's kabaddi team faces Iran in the final today. The men's team will look for its 7th gold after they thumped South Korea 36-25. In Taekwondo, Indian women will be in action in the quarterfinals. Shalu Raikwar will face Abrar Al Fahad of Kuwait in the women's 73 kg and less category. In another match, Margaret Reggie Maria will be up against Li Dongguo of China in 73 kg category. And with the win in Kabaddi, India has moved up to the 7th spot in the medals tally. China is still top of the lot with 142 gold medals, with hosts South Korea and Japan in 2nd and 3rd place respectively. India has 10 gold medals with a total of 56 medals. Well, the highlight for India at the Games yesterday was the gold medal win of the men's hockey team. The Indian men beat arch rivals Pakistan in a penalty shootout. Moments later, Indian women won the gold in 4x400 meters relay by clocking a new Games record. Athletes and boxers rounded up India's success with 3 more bronze medals.
It was a final that many fans dreamed of. India and Pakistan in men's hockey final in Asian Games. Stakes were high for both sides in a high-pressure match. Pakistan took the lead early in the game through Mohammad Rizwan. India equalized through Kotajit Singh in the 27th minute. For the rest of the match, both sides pressed hard for the winning goal. In the shootout, India led right from the start. Indian custodian PR Srijis made 2 breathtaking saves to guide the team to the top of the podium. India regained its top slot in Asian men's hockey after 16 years.
एशियाड के अंदर गोल्ड मेडल 16 साल के बाद हमको मिला है। एक बहुत बड़ी हमारी अचीवमेंट हॉकी के अंदर जो होना चाहिए, बहुत पहले होना चाहिए था, वो आज हमको खुशी मिली है। और मैं ये मानता हूँ कि इस मेडल से हमारे कितने रास्ते, कितने दरवाजे खुल गए हॉकी के, नहीं खेलों के दरवाजे खुलेंगे।
भारत ने पाकिस्तान को एशियन गेम्स में हराकर मैं समझता हूँ बहुत पुराना बदला लिया है, क्योंकि कुछ ऐसा इत्तेफाक रहा है कि हमेशा पाकिस्तान एशियन गेम्स में जीतती रही थी और हम लोग नहीं जीत पाते थे।
There were more cheer for India in track and field. Indian women pulled off a splendid run to win the gold in 4x400 relay. The team of Priyanka Pawar, Tintu Luka, Mandeep Kaur and MR Purvama set a new Games record. This is the 4th gold in the event for Indian women in 4 consecutive games. Indrajit Singh also won a bronze in men's shot put. Indian boxer Satish Kumar and Vikas Krishnan won 2 more bronze medals in men's 91 and 75 kg categories. Indian will have more medals on store on Friday as men's and women's team will compete in the Kabaddi finals. At the end.
And from sports, let's now shift focus to some international events. Even as protests escalate in Hong Kong, Chief Executive Leader C.Y. Leung remains adamant, saying he will not resign. However, he has offered talks between his government and pro-democracy protesters. Protest leaders welcomed the move, but insisted that Leung must step down for that to happen.
The wave of pro-democracy protests continues across Hong Kong. Demonstrators blocked vehicles from entering Chief Executive Leung's office, shouting slogans, "We don't trust you." Several dozen police officers are on standby, with protesters now asking Chief Executive to step down. However, Leung remains adamant about not stepping down. Instead, he warned protesters of serious consequences if they continue to surround the government buildings.
I appeal, and I've been appealing to protesters that we should all follow the basic law, which was promulgated 20-something years ago. We should work within a framework of decision of the National People's Congress, and we follow the provisions of basic law and the decisions of the NPCSC. Can we have universal suffrage in 2017?
However, Leung offered an olive branch by offering to hold talks with demonstrators. Protest leaders welcomed the move.
It totally depends on what the government responds on our demand about universal suffrage. I'm not sure what the people will do because they are so angry now about our chief executive.
The Hong Kong Federation of Students issued an open letter asking for a meeting with the chief secretary representing the Hong Kong government. I'm now appointing the chief secretary to represent Hong Kong government to meet with representatives of the Hong Kong Federation of Students to discuss constitutional development matters.
Declaration for talks came last night, just before the deadline set by protesters for the resignation of CY Leung ended. The offer to talk has diffused immediate tensions. Protesters remain on the streets, but the air of expectation in the lead-up to the deadline has gone, and the focus is now on what the government may offer when they finally sit down at the negotiating table. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in the latest on Ebola, a camera person of the NBC has been diagnosed with Ebola. Meanwhile, the infected Liberian man who brought the disease to the United States will be prosecuted when he returns home for lying on his airport screening questionnaire. With an Ebola epidemic raging in West Africa, passengers leaving Liberia are being screened for fever and are asked if they have had contact with anyone infected. Duncan left for the US on 19 September to visit family and became sick a few days after he arrived. He is currently in isolation at a hospital in Dallas, Texas, and is listed as being in serious but stable condition. Days before he left Liberia, Duncan had helped carry to a taxi a pregnant woman who later died of Ebola. Health officials in Texas have ordered 4 close family members of the Ebola patient to stay in their home, and they've posted law enforcement outside to be sure. Meanwhile, the production of drugs to fight the deadly virus remains a challenge for the US. The supply of an experimental serum known as Zimap has run out and would not be a treatment option for the Dallas patient. In Saudi Arabia, authorities are preparing for the arrival of approximately 2 million people from around the world for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. The Saudi government has banned the entry of travelers from 3 countries currently dealing with the Ebola epidemic: Liberia, Guinea and Sierra Leone. The decision to reject visa requests from these countries has affected more than 7,000 people. Joining the campaign against Islamic State militants, Turkey's parliament on Thursday backed a motion to allow its military to enter Iraq and Syria. The resolution, which was passed with a 3/4 majority, will also permit foreign troops to use Turkish territory for the operation. Meanwhile, UN human rights activists said that over the last 9-week period, a staggering array of human rights abuses has been committed by the Islamic State. The UN also said that abuses committed between 6th of July to 10 September may amount to war crimes. In another development, jihadist militants have advanced within a few kilometers of Syrian Kurdish town of Kobane, sending tens of thousands of refugees into Turkey. And let's now get you more international news in our World Wrap. A Swiss Red Cross worker was killed by a shell that landed near the international organization's office in the city of Donetsk. The International Committee of the Red Cross said the victim had been in Ukraine for 6 weeks. Earlier in the week, at least 10 people were killed when shelling hit a school playground. At least 30 Libyan soldiers were killed and 70 wounded in a double suicide bombing and clashes in the port city of Benghazi. The bombings were targeted at an army checkpoint near Benghazi's civilian and military airport. Special army forces allied to former General Khalifa Haftar have been battling armed Islamist groups who have already overrun army bases in the eastern city. The United States has partially lifted a long-time ban on lethal weapon sales to Vietnam to help it improve maritime security. The decision was taken following talks between U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and his Vietnamese counterpart in Washington yesterday. The arms embargo was imposed on Vietnam in 1984. And that's all we have for you in Breakfast News today. Thanks for watching and have a great day.